he finally lost weight after she left him, and they were saying, like, is that karma, and is that like a lesson for her to learn? It's like,
serious?
you should have stuck it through with him if you really loved him or something. Like, welcome to the Real and Relatable podcast, where no topic is off limits. We're the girlfriends that keep it real and give you different perspectives, because we know one way isn't always the right way.
Hey guys, welcome to the Real and Relatable podcast. I'm LC. This is Dolce Vita.
My name is Cash.
I'm Ma.
On today's episode, we are going to talk about an interesting topic that could be a little bit controversial as well, but our intentions are good, and so we'll just openly talk about this topic and pitch in and let us know what you think as well. But Cash brought this topic to our attention. She saw something on YouTube, a clip on YouTube, and was telling us about it. And I thought it was such an interesting topic that I wanted to expand on it on the podcast. So Cash, can you share with us what you saw?
Yes. So basically, I saw a video clip of a story on a couple. So basically, the wife and the husband had been together for many, many years, and they have one child or maybe two kids. I'm not sure about that piece of information, but I think he was like 6'5" or so. He's a very big man. She's very much more petite woman, and he had been gaining weight consistently, like just continued to gain weight for many, many, many years. So the story that I saw basically was a story that highlighted the fact that the wife left the man, the husband. Eventually, she left him eventually. And then after she left him, he lost weight. Yeah. And they were basically kind of judging that scenario and judging that situation of, okay, was she wrong for leaving? Was it karma for her that after she left, he lost weight? But it's debatable, because you think, if she never would have left him, maybe would he have not had the drive to lose that weight?
Yeah. And for me, when you brought that up, I was like, this is very interesting, because I think it goes way deeper than weight. And that's the angle that I want to take. Yes, we're going to touch on the weight part, right? And you can look at it in either direction, right? Someone who stops eating, or someone who just starts to gain a lot of weight, and the dynamic of your relationship changes, and your family situation and relationships, like all of that changes. Like, what do you do? How long do you stay in a relationship before you leave, or what do you do about it? So I wanted to ask you girls, in the weight situation, what would you do?
I just know how I am. I probably wouldn't have left. I probably would have sat through his misery with him.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, you're so supportive.
For how many years?
Ever.
Probably forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I would have
put up with a lot.
Yeah. Well, I would have tried to encourage him to lose weight. I guess it depends on how big he really was.
Well, in this case, he was so big that it was difficult for them to travel together, like air seats, airplane seats and stuff. To her point in this story,
yeah, it
was not just an inconvenience. It was a lifestyle thing that made her decide to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. I know myself. I would have stayed.
You stay?
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Cash?
I think for me, if I was presented in that same situation where I was with a partner, I had kids, and he just continued to get bigger. Maybe he was 6'5", and it was difficult for us to travel together. I think that I would do my very best to help encourage him and to talk him through and walk him through what it was that he needed help with, because for me to date somebody and be with somebody and marry someone and have kids with someone, I would have to already have understood that we have the same values.
Yeah.
Same values.
Things change though, Things do change.
Yeah. Things do change. But as much as I can control, I sometimes feel like I'm a control freak. Maybe I'm misunderstood, and maybe I'm not so much compared to other people. I don't know. But I think that I would like to try to control the risk as much as possible and just ensure that we have similar values.
Yeah.
To me, values is really important, right? So I would have filtered through that layer first.
Yeah.
If something was to present itself later, it would be a surprise to me. If it still is reality, I would deal with it then. And I would say, I will help you.
Yeah.
I would get through this with you. What is it?
Yeah.
Are you depressed in other areas in your life?
Yeah.
Is it a different motivating factor that is lacking? What is it that is making you pack on these pounds for, it would have to maybe go on for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
For me to give up on somebody. Like, they would have to convince me that they've given up on themselves.
Yeah.
First.
That's precisely how I feel. I would stay in a relationship and try to make it work until like one day it hits me that nothing's going to change, that he's not going to change, that he doesn't recognize his own issues. Because honestly, can you really help someone? Because I'm in the camp of, you cannot help people. They have to want to help themselves. I mean, I guess there's a middle camp where some people do need help and they're willing to take help. But then there are the people who don't even recognize that they have issues and don't want help. And they're not even doing what they need to do to do the right thing, be a part of this family, to participate in this relationship fully, you know? And then there are some people, my ex, for example, he had like a depression, bipolar, but he's a PhD. So he is very aware of the disease and he's always researching the newest medication and what to do to stay on top of his mental health. I think being with him made me realize that if anything, the next person that I'm with, I want them to also have that kind of mentality that, oh, wait, I recognize that something is wrong with me and I need to help myself first, you know?
So the both of you would eventually leave, basically, if they don't change.
Well, I would do my best to help them, but I would consider leaving when I feel like they have given up on themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason for that is because, like you said, Elsie, I cannot do the work for them.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know. I was just simplifying it. Okay. So if you guys both decided, whatever, later on that you guys decided, if the roles were reversed, would you have been okay if your partner left you? Like, would you have been understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would you have been pissed?
I would be understanding. I think they deserve better at that point. If I'm not even mentally there with them, like, do I even really want to be with them as well? That would be my question. Like, if I have let go of myself to that point, whether it's like something I can control or not, I don't know. If I
feel like your initial response, I think your initial reaction would be to be upset first. How dare you leave me?
I can see that, but
you know what? My ex.
No, I'm talking about both of you guys. And your initial reaction would be like, because
not for me. No,
yeah.
I wouldn't.
You would.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
I
you
wouldn't.
would.
No, I wouldn't. I'm telling you, because I am me. I know
I'd
myself.
be sad.
No,
but
I wouldn't be upset because the thing is, when I lose control of my own ability to contain my happiness, I'm more ashamed of myself first. I feel worse for myself first. I would understand because I'm harder on myself. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Of course,
harder on
you would
myself.
always eventually understand once you your mentality is back and you're like, oh, I see why they have they have left me.
No. Even when I'm in a relationship, if I start to get really unhealthy, have really bad habits, have bad drinking habits or gain weight or whatever, any kind of vices, any kind of habits that are bad, if they start to accumulate, I would feel my self-esteem would go way down. And because of that, I wouldn't even get mad if somebody leaves me. I wouldn't even be like, how dare they? I wouldn't even get mad because I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah. I wouldn't get mad. I might be sad. I might be sad, like, oh, I can't believe that they left me when I'm going through stuff.
Correct.
Like maybe like, for example, my miscarriage, maybe I would feel sad. I'm like, oh, why isn't he understanding? Why doesn't he know that I'm not mentally and physically ready? Right. Right. But I think ultimately it's like I'm not there anyway. Mm-hmm.
I guess you never know until it happens, right? Because these are just hypothetical of how you potentially would react. It's just like when you're in a relationship, someone cheats on you. Of course, we can all sit here and be like, oh, of course you leave, but do you actually really leave right away? No.
You leave when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of the same thing. Yeah,
you leave when you're ready.
But the thing is, though, like, cheating on somebody is different. It's a different comparison than you losing weight and somebody deciding, hey, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. That's two different situations. You know,
it is. Again,
cheating on somebody could be driven by other things.
Again, I'm saying, you know, we can always say this is how we're going to react, but that's never going to be how you really react in this situation.
Well, I do know myself pretty well, and I'm not as attached to men as you guys might be. Yeah, so
yeah.
I
know you aren't.
Are not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be easier for me, or might be easier for me to feel like, oh, it's okay that they left. Like, I brought this onto myself, and I, you know, created this situation, this separation between us, like disconnect between us, you know, like I would be able to acknowledge it more logically. But when do you decide that this weight gain thing is a physical or a mental health issue? You know?
Well, I'm sure it's a mental health issue for you to allow yourself to gain that much weight.
Well, yeah, but when do you decide, like, oh, you know, they need help?
Okay, I don't think it's fair to say, like, just because you gain weight, you have a mental health issue.
No, I said,
No.
No, I said for you to gain that much weight, there has to be something for something mentally going on.
But
for
that's
you
what
to
you just repeated that I'm disagreeing with. Because you're saying...
Well, I'm not saying that, just because you gain 10 pounds, you got mental issue. I'm saying that if you have gained excessive weight, there has to be there's something mentally that has gone wrong. Or
physically or mentally, too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, well,
I'm not saying that, you gained 10 pounds, that you got mental issues. No, I'm saying you've gained excessive weight.
Exactly.
What has happened?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Right. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want our audience to think that we're correlating gaining weight with you got mental issues.
I said that.
Exactly.
No, I said that.
We're on the same page.
The reason why I said it, because, you know, I used to be, 20-ish, 5 pounds-ish heavier than I am today. And
crazy. And I never, you weren't that big when I met you, right?
I can't imagine.
Oh, no.
When I first met you.
I was a tiny bit less than...
Tiny bit?
Yeah, not
I didn't
not
think
much.
she was that big.
Yeah,
you were always skinny in my eyes.
No, I was big. I have stats to prove it. I have statistics to prove it. And it was a mental thing, because, you know, once you start gaining this weight and you have a hard time shedding it, you start beating on yourself too. Like, oh, I'm never gonna take this weight off. So you know what? I'm just gonna continue to eat and get fat. Who cares? I'm always gonna be this big, so let's, you know. And of course, you know, I was sad and depressed and like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna let myself go. Like, I'm just gonna continue gaining weight. It's fine. It's even if, you know, my ankles are hurting after a couple hours of being on my feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I was heavy enough.
That is big. Then.
I was heavy enough where if I was on my feet too long, my ankles starts hurting.
Ooh,
because it's a lot of weight on my ankle, you know. So yeah, of course, it is a mental thing. Your mentality does go down the drain. So the reason why I say it is because I know it. I've been through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In this scenario, I would be most concerned about their physical health, like you said, right? Your ankles start to hurt.
Yeah.
You know. And you can't walk very far. You can't do the activities that you normally do with yourself, with your family, your friends, your loved ones. You know, all of that changes, you know. So the physical health thing is a big thing. And then the mental health, too. Is it depression? Is it sadness?
Well, you become depressed,
Oh, yeah. Those are the things that I'm most concerned about with, like, a scenario like this. Like, when your partner, like, starts to change a lot, what's happening?
How do you do it?
Yeah, exactly. And it could be, like, even the physical health, it could be, like, there is an actual, like, sickness. That, for example, I mean, I don't know what would cause this, but, yeah, diabetes, does it cause, like, weight gain and things like that, too? Or no? Oh, okay.
No.
But what I mean is, like, there could be some other underlying disease or health problems.
Yeah.
Not just mental, but physical that needs to be checked on, you know?
It's not just mental. There's a lot of sometimes when you take medication for some other physical issues, there are side effects where you will gain weight.
Yeah.
Whether it's mental pills to help mental issues or just physical issues, that can happen. I do acknowledge what you're saying, Ma, is sometimes when you do find yourself in a situation whether it's yourself or your partner, where you're gaining weight or you're maybe dealing with issues through eating. I do that. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. I eat.
You love food.
I eat as a hobby. I eat for everything. I love food so much. And so I, of all people, understand that. And I do agree that when I gain weight, it's because I'm going through some things mentally where I am maybe not as happy. I'm not satisfied with my life or whatever it is that I'm going through. But I think that it's kind of like a catch-22 where you sometimes are not happy and then you maybe make poor decisions. And whether it's poor eating decisions or lifestyle decisions, and it contributes to you not feeling happy. You know, it's a cycle. But, you know, to your point of this is not only about weight gain, it is about other things too. People have other vices besides eating. There's other things like gambling. There's other things like excessive working.
Yeah, when do you leave your partner when you know that they've gambled like your life savings?
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, especially if you have kids.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. I have a friend who excessively works because that's how he deals with being stressed out. Is he dedicates his life to something, you know, and overworks. There's people who do, their vices are alcoholism or, you know, porn or whatever else, right? We all have our vices. I think, to me, in my opinion, when somebody can't control what their partner is going through and before they give up on their partners, for whatever their vices is, whether it's smoking, it could be somebody could divorce somebody because it's smoking cigarettes or weed, you know what I mean? Or drugs, whatever. But I have a question for you two. If you are with a partner long term, and I know, Mal, you said that in the example of weight gain, you would stick by them, which I applaud you for that because that's, you know, I admire that. If you were to find yourself at a situation where you're just like, oh my God, I just can't do it anymore. You're about to give up on them. What is your style? Is your style to announce it like, hey, I want to talk. I want to talk through this. This is the last chance, or I'm at my last straw. I really want this to work. Do you announce it? And do you make it known that it's your last straw? Or do you just kind of like work within yourself and just dip out quietly? What's your style?
I think I would have had the conversation with him many times and would have, you know, tried to give him help many times. And if he, for example, doesn't go to therapy when, you know, if he's agreed to it and we even schedule it and he's not consistent and, you know, like if he's just showing me signs that he doesn't want to participate in getting better, then, you know, I would voice it, you know, a couple more times. And then I would just say, hey, I don't think it's working out. I don't know if the day when I say, hey, I'm leaving, I would say this is why, unless he asks me.
Okay.
Because I don't want to like pour salt on the wound, I think, at that moment, at that very moment. But he would have known.
Yeah.
You know, I would have tried many times.
That's a great point.
I don't know.
They always never know. Even if
I know.
Even if you already had a conversation
That's
with them.
true. That's true.
They're always blindsided for some odd reason.
And then,
And I'm like
what? Like, where's this coming from?
Yeah, like they act like they never had the conversation with you.
That's true. That's true. I don't know why that happens.
I don't know. Selective hearing.
Yes.
No, I have someone who gives empty ultimatums. So
Wait, you?
Yeah, my ultimatums don't mean
Don't
anything.
say that to the world.
But it's true. Like I'll say like, oh, if you don't shape up, I'm gonna leave. But then I'm still here. So
Do you like that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
no. But you know, I mean, ultimatums are empty. But eventually, I would just be gone, and then it would be like, oh, she like ghosted me. even though I gave clear empty ultimatums
For a long time.
for a long time. They were there. It was kind of like warning. I mean,
They just never took you seriously.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
I know.
This really happened?
But what if somebody was to argue like, well, they weren't empty ultimatums because you did eventually leave. What if that was you voicing it? You just spread it out longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess you can say that.
You are, if you're giving ultimatums.
But usually ultimatums mean if you don't do this, I'm gonna leave. Like basically, it was pretty instant, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're drawing it out longer because you're not giving the ultimatums for fun. It is a truth to your heart. It is real.
It's a warning. It's a warning sign.
Yeah, but it's not an ultimatum. It's a warning.
Yeah. But that's what my question was. Is if when you're starting to give up on somebody, do you express it before you go, or do you just go quietly? If you're giving ultimatums, you are expressing it. One could say.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she is expressing it. Yeah. What about you?
I would express it.
Yeah.
I always express it. I always want to talk things through because I always feel like, we have something special going on, and let's find a way to make it work if we both want to make it work. So I'll always talk things through. I will announce it before I quit, before I leave. I will announce it in one form or another.
Yeah, that's good. Your partner has gained weight, or whatever vice they have is really impacting your relationship, your family, and all that. You've talked to them about it. You tried to get them help. Nothing is working. And you leave, like in this situation, you leave. And then all of a sudden, this person loses the weight or fixes their lives up and they're better now. Yeah. How would you feel?
Ma, how would you feel if you finally leave and they shape up?
Oh, I probably would have moved on with my life at that point. I wouldn't care anymore.
What if you didn't move on with your life?
I mean, I still wouldn't care. I'd be like, well, good for you. I mean, I'm glad you lost the weight. Maybe I wasn't a motivation enough for you to get your life back together, which is...
I'd be annoyed.
I mean, that's on you.
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
Even if I have no feelings, say, for example, like my ex-husband, right?
You'd be annoyed.
Well, I'll give you an example. My ex-husband,
maybe that's how guys feel. Just kidding.
He joined the military after we split up, and then he got a 2-bedroom. Yeah, bought a 2-bedroom condo up a couple blocks away from Waikiki Beach, and I had to go there to do some paperwork and stuff. And he took me to show me the condo and was like, "I got this for us. Like, I want us to get back together and make it work." I was like, "What? No, that ship has sailed." Mm-hmm. He's like, "I don't get it. Like, I'm giving you everything that you ever asked for now.
Too late.
A place by the beach, and you don't want to work on it." And yeah, you're right. It's too late. But it's too late because I'd already lost the feelings for him, right? Yeah. That romantic, that love feeling for him. He's like just a friend now, Mm-hmm. So it's never gonna work, right? I can't make myself love somebody or fall in love with somebody anymore. And like you messed up, things didn't work out, whatever. I mean, not just you. I can't just blame you. There's two of us in there. Yeah. We both made mistakes. But I was annoyed. Because why didn't you do this shit when we were together? Why did the divorce have to happen for this to... For you to get your shit together, So, yeah, I would be annoyed. Even if I've moved on.
Yeah. Oh, probably because it took him realizing that he actually lost you to shape up.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. I feel like guys do that.
Yeah.
Or people do that in their relationship.
I feel like that's how guys feel about girls who... glow up after they break up.
But that's the principle is people tend to feel like, what the hell, why did it take this long for you to realize it?
Yeah.
It's inconvenient, it's annoying. Mm-hmm. It is.
Why do you think that happens?
So that's the thing is the example of what you're talking about and the video that I saw where the wife decided to leave the husband after so many years because he got so overweight and they couldn't leave the same lifestyle. He finally lost weight after she left him. And they were saying, is that karma? And is that a lesson for her to learn? Is it
serious?
You should have stuck it through with him if you really loved him or something
I don't.
Is it a punishment of some sort?
I think her leaving him was a trigger for him to shape up.
Yeah, exactly. Because if she didn't leave him,
he would have stayed.
Would he have actually had that drive to prove her wrong or prove himself wrong or make things better?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need that burn to create that change.
Yeah.
Was she that change for him? Is it a good thing or a bad thing ultimately? would he have lost that weight anyways if she would have stayed?
Yeah, no, I don't think he would have if she stayed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you would never know, right?
Nope, never know.
But
you 99.9% sure he wouldn't
have. Because you get comfortable, right? You
Yeah.
get comfortable, and then especially if you have someone who's gonna love you as is,
Yeah.
what makes you want to change if they already love you?
Yeah.
I have a question. So, is love supposed to be unconditional love? Do you feel like love is unconditional?
No. I mean, like in my dreams, like I wish, like I wish that's how it is in real life, but that's not how it is in real life. That's not how it is in society. I think that you have to be physically and mentally healthy and supportive of one another and be there for each other. If something is off, like you've got to work on it to fix it and to bring everything back to equilibrium, right? And if it's not, I think there's going to be a lot of issues in the relationship.
Okay.
Unless both of you guys are on the same wavelength, on the same.
Yeah.
Like, like a lot of people, a lot of couples, like even myself included, when I was married, like I gained weight, he gained weight, and we were just happy and comfortable. And then after we split up, I was like, dang, I need to hit the gym,
Happy and round.
Yeah, happy and round, but I think you have to make sure that you're both like on the same page about everything and you're happy with everything and you're both healthy and happy together, no matter what way or whatever situation is going on,
I think as long as you both are.
Yeah, you're both on the same page. Yeah.
But if one person's unhappy, then
yeah,
you gotta figure out why.
Yep. And I think that's the main thing. If one person is way off balance and like causing this kind of
what happened to the vows of in sickness and health, huh?
Right.
One could, yeah, that's the point of marriage, is to stick through the thick and thin.
Well, I mean, if you stick through it for 10 years, does that mean you have to suffer for life? Especially when you voice that, hey, you've changed a lot.
Yes.
I want to go hiking and you can't anymore. And this sucks, Yeah. And if you voice that so many times and they don't change.
Yeah, I think back in the days, when divorce rates were, really low. It's probably because of those vows of in sickness and health, and there's
religion and values.
Yeah, and so you basically are miserable till death.
Well, no, also I think it's because women didn't work back then. Well, we weren't educated and we didn't have jobs and careers. We were housewives, and so we were dependent on the man. Yeah. And nowadays, because we're a little bit more independent, like we're not gonna take shit, But it goes the other way too, Like, yeah.
So do you guys think that it's selfish to leave when things won't serve us anymore?
Yeah, it's selfish, but it's okay. You can be selfish.
I don't think it's selfish because I think that if it's negatively impacting the relationship and the connection, then I am alone. I am now alone in this relationship. Now I have to start thinking about myself and protecting myself and making myself happy.
But what if they're like, wait for me, I'm working through my problems?
Well, you will know, like we just talked about. You will know if they are really putting in efforts and trying, or if it's just fluff,
Yeah. Well, you literally just explain that it is selfish because you're like, it's no longer, the relationship isn't working. Now I have to think about myself and me and me. Yeah. So it is selfish.
Yeah.
So you can't say it's not selfish.
No, it's not. Like, why would I stay in a relationship when you're being selfish too?
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. You're both being selfish.